The sun was already hanging low when Elias Boone rode down the winding trail that led into Dust Creek, a town that looked like it was trying to remember better days. His horse, Whisper, snorted through the heat and the dust, hooves thudding against the dry earth as if even she knew this wasn't a place to linger long. Elias came for one thing, grain, just a few sacks to get him through the next month on his ranch out past Red Mesa. He wasn't looking for trouble, and he sure wasn't looking for love. But sometimes the West has a way of changing a man's plans before he can tie his horse. The streets of Dust Creek were near empty, save for a few old-timers rocking on the saloon porch, and the sheriff's mutt sprawled out under the jailhouse shade. The air smelled like old wood and heat. Elias dismounted, boots crunching on gravel as he tied Whisper by the trough outside Miller's Supply. He gave the reins a pat, eyes scanning the street. The kind of look every man of the frontier learned early. You never know what's waiting behind a window or who's watching from the shadows. Inside the store, the bell above the door gave a tired jingle. The place smelled of grain, leather, and dust. The honest sense of hard living. Elias nodded to the shopkeeper, an old fellow with gray whiskers named Tom Miller. "Afternoon," Elias said. Tom looked up from the counter. "Afternoon yourself, Boone. Haven't seen you in town since the storm." Elias grinned faintly. "Ranch keeps me busy. Need 5 sacks of feed grain, if you've got it." Tom nodded, slow and steady, the way old men do when they've seen too many seasons pass. "Got some left in back. You can load it yourself." "Ain't as spry as I used to be," Elias chuckled. "You were never spry, Tom." Tom just smirked. "Fair enough." As Elias turned toward the back room, he caught a glimpse through the store window. A woman stepping out of the saloon across the street. She wasn't dressed for town work, nor did she look like any barmaid. She carried herself with quiet dignity, a shadow of sorrow in the way she held her shawl tight around her shoulders. Her auburn hair glimmered in the sun, and though her face was calm, her eyes were searching for something. Elias didn't know it yet, but that was Clara Hartwell, the widow who would change his life. He looked away quickly. Didn't mean to stare, but something about her lingered in his mind, like a song half remembered. He loaded the grain into his wagon, the rhythmic thump of each sack grounding him back in the moment. When he was done, he wiped the sweat from his brow and turned. And there she was, standing by the water trough, looking at Whisper. "She's a fine horse," Clara said, her voice soft but steady. Elias tipped his hat. "She's carried me through better and worse. Hard not to trust a creature that keeps you alive." The woman smiled faintly, though her eyes carried sadness. "Trust is a rare thing these days." Elias nodded, not sure what to say. "You visiting town?" She hesitated, then shook her head. "No, I live here. My husband." She paused, swallowing the word like it was too heavy to finish. "Used to run the blacksmith's. Passed 2 winters ago." "I'm sorry to hear that," Elias said, sincere. Clara offered a polite nod, then added, "If you're looking for supplies, Miller's fair. But if you need someone to mend a harness or shoe that horse, I still keep the forge running. That caught Elias by surprise. A widow running a forge in Dust Creek wasn't something you heard every day. "You shoe horses?" "I do," she said, with a touch of pride. "My father taught me before I married. Some folks think it's unbecoming for a woman, but work's work." Elias smiled. Not in mockery, but in respect. "Work's work," he agreed. "Maybe I'll bring Whisper by before I ride out." She gave him a nod, and with that, she turned to leave. But as she walked away, something stirred in Elias. A feeling he hadn't known in years. Not since the war, not since before the loneliness set in out at the ranch. He didn't know what it meant yet, but he knew he'd see her again before sundown. That evening, as the wind began to cool, Elias found himself walking toward the old blacksmith's barn behind the general store. He'd told himself it was to get Whisper's shoe looked at. A half-truth at best. He could hear the clang of metal before he reached the door. Clara stood there, sleeves rolled, arms strong and sure as she worked the anvil. Sparks lit her hair in orange glimmers, her face streaked with soot and light. She didn't look like someone broken by loss. She looked like someone reforged by it. "You came," she said, without looking up. Elias leaned on the doorframe. "Told you I would. Front shoe's been loose." She smiled faintly. "Let's see to it then." For the next hour, they worked side by side. No words for a while. Just the ring of iron, the snort of the horse, and the slow rhythm of two people finding a strange peace in each other's company. When the shoe was done, she brushed her hands on her apron and looked at him. "You don't strike me as a man who comes to town often." "I don't," Elias said. "Too many ghosts in towns." She studied him quietly. "And yet, here you are." He gave a dry chuckle. "Guess even a man running from the past needs grain." Clara smiled, just a little, and for the first time in years, Elias felt something warm stirring beneath the dust of his heart. As the night settled, he thanked her and turned to go. But before he could mount Whisper, she called out. "Mr. Boone," he turned. "There's a harvest fair this weekend," she said, almost shyly. "If you're still in town, it'd be nice to have company." Elias hesitated, then smiled. "Maybe I'll stay till then." And for the first time in years, he meant it.